Hi, I'm Dr. Papia Bhattacharjee. So, this problem is about finding inverse of a function. And that's a very important concept. So, we have the function right here, fx is 2x minus 3. We just have to figure out what is f inverse, what is the expression. Now, if you recall, the inverse of a function is another function that reverses the operation of f. Okay, so whatever f does, f inverse like undoes that. So it reverses it. So how do we figure out the expression for f inverse when f is given? Before we proceed, let's understand the two functions one more time graphically. So just roughly, say f is somewhere here. So if this is f, what is f inverse? If you want to visualize it, f inverse is nothing but reflection of f, and the mirror is the line y equals x. So here is y equals x, and consider that is the mirror, then f inverse is just the reflection of f. So f inverse will look something like this. Okay. Now, what does that really mean? So mathematically, what that means is if you take a point on f and say that point is a comma b, then its reflection point on f inverse is b comma a. So it just reverses the x and y coordinate, that's all. And that concept can be used to figure out f inverse. So the method, as you can say, is this. You take the function f, and then let's call f of x is y. You know, usually that's what we do. Here is x, and this y is given by f of x. So instead of f of x, let's write down y equals 2x minus 3. So this is the expression, this is the equation for the function f. Now we want to, remember, we want to figure out what is f inverse. So all we have to do is reverse the variables. So the independent variable becomes dependent and dependent becomes independent. So let's switch y and x in this equation. Instead of writing y equals, instead of y, we write x. Instead of x, we write y. As soon as we switch it, now we are talking about the inverse operation. We're reversing it. And now just solve for y from this equation. So let's bring the 3 on the left-hand side. So you get x plus 3 is equal to 2y. And we want the expression to be y equals something. So in order to do that, you divide by 2 both sides. So the 2 cancels on the right-hand side, and then we have our equation y is equal to x plus 3 over 2. Guess what? That expression is the function f inverse. So f inverse is x plus 3 over 2. So we got our expression for f inverse right here. F inverse of x is x plus 3 over 2. And that is the inverse function of this original 2x minus 3. Now notice something important. And this happens usually for inverse. And that's why the name inverse, because all the operations gets reversed. Notice for f, the expression has the input is multiplied to 2. So every time you plug in x, it will be multiplied with 2, and then you subtract 3. Here in the inverse function, this subtraction becomes addition, because those are inverse operation. And the multiplication becomes division. So here 2 is multiplied, here 2 is divided. Here 3 is subtracted, here 3 is added. And that's the whole essence of inverse of a function.